Hey, the Salesville. I see you. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Mm, 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 mm. Chinwei. Chinwei. Good evening, people. Can you hear me loud and clear? Hey, hey. KD, good evening. Yes. Oh, Laurie Tosan. Tosan, I see you. Amara Igwe Buike. My goodness, please. Let me not remix your name for you. Yes, people. Here we go. You're welcome to another banging hot episode of the one and only. And I do mean the one and only. Ego Boyo. I can't wait, people. I cannot wait. Yes, so can somebody please confirm? Is my sound okay? Is my sound sounding good? I should just call you Amara. Amara, good evening. Daddy Shoki, I see you. Carrier favor agent Adindi Michael 77. I see you. I see you. I see you. We're just chilling. It's the 13th episode. Oh, thank you so much, Salesville. Thank you for confirming my sound. Because the last time my microphone was a bit too loud because I'm using a proper condenser microphone. So it's not good if it's way too loud, so it doesn't, start to tip in comparison to the audio from my guest. World of VWO, I see you. Leke Oba, good evening. I see you. I see you. I'm so excited. Last week was nuts. I had Daddy Shoki. It was, oh my goodness. Daddy Shoki was just off the hook. Swen Couture, I see you. Ah, Simon Adewale, I see you. Crispy Sounds. Oh yes, Laurie Tosan. I put in, you know how I am now. Quality. It matters. You have to give people value. Oh, Simon Adewale, good evening. I know you're always here with me talking influencers. Shout out to you. Shout out. I just told my guests to hold on for like 5 minutes while people just come in and pile in. Loretta, you know how we do now. It's been a minute. And I just love that connection, that marriage between music and movies. Ego Boyo is someone that I've admired for years and years and years. And I just love her transition. Oh, thank you so much, Salesville, for buying a badge. Thank you for your supporting me. Support us, buy badges. We dig deep. We go deep into the vault to bring you this, to bring you this content. Like I said, last week Thursday was off the hook with Daddy Shoki. Then on Saturday I had a special with Dame Mama Taiwa Jailai set. It was off the hook. Tonight, woohoo! I'm so excited. Man, forget. No wonder Netflix is jumping in. Netflix, they know Nigeria is the new Mecca. Look at what's going on now. Eh? You don't need no other body. Whiskey is all over. Our movies, King of Boys, Chinyere, good evening. Femi Loyo, good evening. Victory 4161, I see you, good evening. Ronky Flowers, Ra, good evening. Thanks for coming in. Let me tell my guest. It's time to get going. Because you guys, I'm using my dongle. And trust me, these things, man, they suck battery power. And I've got everything connected to my phone. So that's why right now I'm working on just coming on full blown, coming on the multi-stream, multiple platforms. So start typing your questions, start putting your questions in the box. Email me, good evening, F Square 25, I see you. Joseph Oluwadamilare M, I see you. Need.olu. We're just waiting. I'm sure she's on her way in. We are ready. Drum roll. You guys, it's gone so quickly, so quickly. I can't believe it. This is episode 13. Unbelievable, unbelievable, unbelievable. Wow, awesome. I've had Daddy Shoki. There's someone coming on 11th of November. I have some very good scripts. I'm ready. Yes, yes, people. Ha. I sight her. I see her. But before I bring her in, trailblazer, producer, actor, mother, director, game changer, table breaker. She's not even a table shaker. I bring you none other than the one and only, this one and only. I bring you Ego Boyo. Bra. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, sis. How you doing? Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. How you doing?
I'm fine.
Can you hear me loud and clear?
Yes, I can. I can hear you loud and clear.
Well, guys, officially, once again, I bring you our own. I don't know. Do you know that, in fact, I still battle with that word, Egoboyo. I don't know why.
Okay, why?
Why Nollywood? I don't
Hi.
know. I like to say Nigerian film, but it's all good.
Yeah, yeah,
Nollywood.
yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm so excited tonight. I bring you Egoboyo. Let's dive right in.
Let's.
Starting out, what was it like? When did you know this is what I would love to do professionally, coming into the movie industry?
I mean, I think well, coming into the movie industry, okay. I think just how good it was on Checkmate. It was my first, and up till then, I wasn't completely certain. But I think when I did, after being so nervous, and then I got on, and everybody was so lovely. It was not easy, but it wasn't as difficult as I thought it was in terms of dealing with people and being there for my first production. And I thought, okay, this isn't as bad as I thought. I can do this. Latasha. Yes, I'm trying to maintain my edges, lads. So I thought I could do this. And yes, I think it was from then. The checkmate years were, yeah, the first, yeah. Yeah.
How did you get in? Did you have to, like, read, do multiple reading, auditioning, and so on and so forth?
Yeah, actually, I had met Amaka Igwe the year before. She had come to see my father for a completely unrelated thing. She was doing something with the courts, and we had just said hello to one another. Oh, hi, someone I knew from a commercial at Lacapine. Okay, hi. And the next year, she came, not she sent some people to see me. Everybody had a landline. So they called my landline. I said, okay, we want to come and see you. Remember we met last year? I said, yeah. She said, I want to send someone to come and see you. And I wondered what that was about. But they came over and they brought a few pages of a script. And they said, look, we want you to read for this script and, see what you think. So I read for it and they said, okay, thank you, and left. And then some weeks, I guess it was weeks, days or weeks later, they got in touch and said, okay, we have this soap opera coming up on NTA and would like you to be a part of it. And obviously for the part that I had read. And I said, okay, first job, right out of school. I was like, of course. I said yes. And so I started. But at the time it was really we were just shooting, we hadn't gotten the sponsors. So at the time, I thought, okay, we finished the shoot. It was all very good, but I need money. I need a job. So I went and I worked with the Continental Merchant Bank. And it was while I was working with them that they got in touch with me and said, look, we've been picked up. We have a sponsor. We're going to be on NTA. So obviously I had to tell my new employers that, okay, very conservative bank, all of that. I'm going to be on TV. And, my boss at the time was so wonderful. He said, you know what, it's fine. I told him what the part was about, and they were cool about it, and they were happy it was a part that did not sort of, reflect badly on them or anything. So that was it. Yeah, that's how I started.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how were you able to keep up, back to back, week
Ugh.
after week, learning your lines, shooting, all
Ugh.
that?
It was for someone just starting, it was a lot. But as I said, they were also professional. There were a lot of people who had been in the industry, so they were very encouraging. I was so terrible at my lines because it was a mixture of lines and then being nervous of
Mm.
not messing it up. And so, but they were all so very helpful. They were all very sweet about it, very patient with me. And it was difficult because, of course, I had to also be at work. So I sometimes I ended up shooting all night into the morning, and I would leave set 6 a.m. Ikorodu. I would leave set about 6 a.m. in Ikorodu and head back home. And then I had to be in the office for 8. So I had to do that, for a while. And then after a while, my schedule got a little more easy to manage, where I was just in there. We would go on camp, shoot the whole bits for me, my family, and then I would be free to go back and do work and do whatever. So it was interesting, and when you're young, I mean, you can do all that back to back. I didn't need that much sleep. I was raring to go. It was all very exciting, pursuing my dream. And so yes, I did it. Yeah, it was cool.
And your parents are cool with it.
Well, at the time, it was just my mom because my dad had just died. My dad died the year
Oh.
before, or 2 years before. So it was really my mom. And yeah, she was cool with it because she wasn't here, but she was cool with it. She knew what I was doing. And I was basically, yeah, I was just with myself and my sister. We were just sort of living in Lagos at the time on our own. And we just, we worked. We did what we had to do at the time. Yeah. So.
Transitioning. At what point in time did you know, okay, I like to, you know, start producing and directing as well?
Yeah. I think it was actually Amaka again. We had been
Mm.
in on Checkmate, let's say 4 or 5 years, and then she was writing this script, the script which eventually was made into the film Violated. And she said to me, "Oh, Ego Ibo," she's called me Ego Ibo. She said, "Ego Ibo, I want you to play this role." And all of that. And so I said, of course, of course. But then when I read it, I thought, oh, I don't want to play the role. I was still a bit antsy about it. So I said, you know what? Why don't we get someone else to play the role? And what I want to do is be the work with you behind the scenes. So she was like, okay, no problem. I really want you to do it. I wrote it for you, but if you want to work behind the scenes, why not? So she said, okay, fine, go at it. So I started, and I said, okay, I don't think I actually said I'm going to be the producer. I just started doing the work. I had, friends, contacts, so I could get all the things we wanted, the locations, the cars, the boats, those sort of contacts. And I mean, that was the work of a producer. At the time, we didn't have what we do now, which is location scouts. We have all the different people that help to make the job easier. At the time, it was on your shoulders as producer. And so I basically went out and just, picked up my phone book and just used all my different network. And I just got everything that we needed. And then we set to work. So that was when I enjoyed it so much. I thought, okay, this is it. This is what I want to do. And so I started doing that. And then, of course, the actor that I wanted to play, Peggy, didn't work out. And so I had to come back and do that as well. So I had to do the producing and then act as well. Amaka was happy about that because that's what she wanted from the very beginning. Yeah, and it was tricky a few times, but I think we got on with it and we got it done. Yeah.
If you had to choose, what do you prefer, producing or being in front of the camera or a bit of both?
I think initially, I think at no, not initially. At some point, after I'd done the work producing once, twice, I was like, you know what, I'm done with acting. I'm just gonna go behind the scenes, do all of that. But I think as I've gotten older, I have also, I was maybe started feeling a bit nostalgic for for acting. And I'm like, oh, I really love acting. I do it so often as well. Mildred is on. She will tell you. I saw Rita was on as well. I'm always
Yeah,
acting.
yeah.
So yeah.
Shout out to Rita and Mildred. I see you.
Yes. So I just thought, you know what, why not? And I think so now it would be more like a bit of both would be the ideal thing. Yeah.
Okay, you producing. Hmm.
Hey, Latasha. Latasha is saying,
Because,
Howie official. My cousin-in-law from Canada is
hey,
on as well.
people, how you
Hi,
doing?
people. Yeah.
So, what would you say was your very, very first official project on your own,
Okay.
produced by Ego Boyo?
On my own without Amaka, I was Keeping Faith.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
Keeping Faith. Hey, Jay Beautiful. Yeah, it was Keeping Faith. That was my first one, produced by me, my company. Yeah, that was the first one, alone, without Amaka. Hi, Field watching from Canada. Nice. Keeping Faith. Yes, that is it. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
so you, as a producer, do
Mm,
you get involved with the process of auditioning,
mm,
or is it a case of like, okay, you have someone you've marked out in your head, this person would be good for this role or
mm-hmm,
that role, or you just go bang out and just do, a public call and people come in and do
mm.
auditions and they read for the parts.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's a mix of both. Initially, when we started out, what I used to do was mainly, I would do a call for an audition. Yes, Mildred just typed. It is a seminal film in Nollywood history. So I would do like one audition, and Mildred was one of my judges. I do an audition and sort of, do like a call, and a lot of people would show up, and I would sort of have people, like I still have. I was saying to Mildred the other day, I was looking through my records, and I still have files and files of so many Nollywood actors, some of your faves, as they say, some of your big stars. I have all their first, all the
Wow.
information about them. I have all of that. The first time they tried out for auditions and stuff. So I used to do that, but then as time went on, there were people that I saw in different things that I liked. So I would say, oh, I want to work with this actress, and see, somebody is asking me about Gray. I have lots of questions. There's lots. So I would say I want to work with this actor, I want to work with this actress, and I would like pencil them down for a future role, and maybe call them in to read. So it's a mix of that, and it depends on the project. Sometimes you're looking for somebody, that maybe you haven't seen, somebody out there, and you just want somebody new, or you want to, just try and see what is out there. So yeah, it's a mix of those two things or three things. Yeah.
You guys at the time, your model pretty much was independent.
Yeah.
How did you get funding for
Ugh.
what you do? Because I really, really admire what you guys do. But how did you do it? How
It
did you
was
get yourself
tough.
funded?
It was tough. It was really family and friends. Family and friends, because nobody was really out there saying, okay, here's this chunk of change, take it and do this. I know Amaka did that, family and friends, and some of the savings from Checkmate. And when I started again, family and friends, different people,
Mm.
family mainly gave me money, and we were able to do that. And then after that, what I did was I really got into more like corporate work, doing stuff for companies, because they pay well and there's no drama. So there's nothing like that, documentaries and stuff like that, adverts.
Mm.
So, they'll pay you, and then you sort of use some of that money to do the projects that are dear to your heart that you want to make in film. So that's what I did as well. But that's what a lot of people did. Some people were lucky and they had people who would, give them money. And I know that at the time when we're working, a lot of the traders in what do you call it? In what is it? Where's that not Senior Moment. Where's that market that we used to have all our films come out of? But anyway,
Onitsha. Onitsha.
yeah, and the one in Lagos, Alaba.
Okay, Alaba.
Yes, they used to give money for that. So
Yeah.
some of the people were able to get funding from that. Yeah, so it was a multitude of places wherever you could get money from, you got it and made the film. Idumota, yes. Latasha, always. Alaba, Idumota, yes. Yes. Thank you.
Wow.
So yeah, you
Wow.
did that, and that's what we did. We got money from friends, family, and then some people were lucky in terms of getting the additional funds elsewhere. But yes, it was a struggle, and we really worked every naira that we spent. We stretched it as much as we could. We, lots of favors, all of that. Yes, Keeping Faith made so much more for the marketer than it did for me. I think Latasha was one that actually made money. I didn't, but definitely the marketer did. So, and I'm sure I know that we have. I'd had a very good relationship with him, and he's always been very thankful for the film. Ebimpe Joe Lane, you're so right. That is it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm.
Major congrats. Because I kind of caught wind of it that you were shooting a major epic years ago.
Okay.
Amina.
Oh
Queen
no.
Amina of Zaria.
Oh no. Okay. So I wasn't shooting it. What had happened was I had several interviews, several conversations about the film I wanted to do next, and I have always had such an affinity for historical figures and all of that, and I really loved the story of Amina.
Yes.
And just the strength and all of the things that we had read about. And I had said I wanted to make a film about Amina and all of that. A sequel to Violated. So I don't know. In the spirit of remixes, I'm thinking, haven't we had enough remixes? We could do some new. There's so much new stuff out there. Like Amina is coming out, but I have nothing to do with Amina. That is coming out this November on Netflix. Yeah, but it's a film I always wanted to do, and I don't know that I won't do it. It probably will be some other way, but I think I still will. So that was it. I was just talking about what I wanted to do at the time. Years ago, several interviews, I was always talking about that. And yeah, but I never got the chance because at the point, it was just like, I couldn't even envisage how to get the money. The shade, what
Wow.
and all of that. So I'm glad to see that it's been done, and I'm looking forward to watching it. Yeah.
Honestly, I thought it was you. I was like, at last, she got it done.
Wish it was, yeah.
Because I've crafted tons and tons of questions,
based
to
on
ask
that,
you
my goodness,
how you got it done, the research. But still on the subject of epics, I noticed we don't really do a lot of epics. We don't.
Yeah.
I think that's something that we need to explore.
Definitely.
Would you still want to do Amina or something else? I mean,
yeah, I would love to do the epics. I would love to do, a lot of, there's so many historical figures, completely, so many stories still untouched, so much to do. I think in my own case, what I think my issue was at the time I was thinking of Amina was just how far-ranging the film would be. It was going to be a huge budget. It was also going to be quite an expensive budget. I also was very concerned about whether I would be able to get, historically accurate costumes, because you're talking about you're going to have to train these people to ride on horses, fight on horseback, all of that. There's just so much. So I wasn't sure, about how much, it would take for me to be able to produce this. And yes, I mean, Okechukwu produced and Izu directed, Izu Ojukwu, yes. So I wasn't sure how I was going to be able to do this. And Izu Ojukwu, yes. Thank you, Jay, beautiful. So, and I'm sure that they also had, issues like that about, raising the financing and just getting people prepared, the actors and all of that, because it's taken them a few years for this to come. I think they've been at it for about, I don't know, 3, 4 years, you
Wow.
know, or I think even more than that. I think even more than that, they've been working on this particular project. So I think that's one of the issues that a lot of people have with epics. It's quite a lot of money, and historically, trying to make films of that nature are quite tough. Even in Hollywood, they do take a
Yes.
long time, and they
Yeah.
do consume. Can you imagine? They started in 2012, so it's even, I said 3 or 4 years. Did I know? It's actually almost a decade to get
Nine
that
years.
film. Yes, wow.
Wow.
So you see what I mean? It's a lot of time and a lot of money on the one project. And often it's worth it, but
Yes.
it's a lot of time, yeah, to invest in one project.
Mm.
Hmm.
Latasha Lagos is asking, how old were you when you started out in Checkmate?
Checkmate was 90, what was it, 91? So I was 23, 22, 23. I was about to turn 23. I know I started, yeah, so about 22. Mm. Yeah.
Um, you know, I think we're undergoing some sort of a renaissance in the film space, and
Mm.
new things are happening, especially with the emergence of Netflix.
Yeah.
Where what role would music play right now in the movies? Do you guys have like music supervisors, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
stuff like that?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we do. And music always plays a huge role. I mean, I don't see how any film would be how great it has turned out, any of the big films, without the great scores that we hear. And we've music has always played a big part in film in Nollywood as well. Um, I remember when we did Keeping Faith, the director at the time, Steve Gukas, he got Yinka Davis to do a lot of the score. He and Shegun wrote a lot of the songs, and then Yinka Davis as well, and they did a phenomenal job. I still have the CDs because at the time we had a sponsor at the time when we did Keeping Faith for the premiere and MTN, and they wanted us to produce the music, the score from the film into what do you call it, a CD. So we did. So I actually have a couple of the CDs, and the music is phenomenal. So music and film have always gone hand to hand. We've always been able to appreciate that, and I've always loved, when music is put in a film and it's so wonderfully done. Then you sort of you enjoy the film. I think you enjoy the film better. Music has a huge part to play. Super story. Oh, Natasha, you never listened to our Keeping Faith, because Keeping Faith, the soundtrack was fantastic.
Ah,
Yes,
I'm
Wall
curious.
Street.
I'm
Now
curious.
two horses. To Misha. Oh wow, this looks like a book. Okay. So yes, music is important, and it's good that it's becoming even more important because of what is happening in the music industry on its own.
Yep.
So for more people, then making sure that they incorporate, you know, music, and you're just doing it well, properly, with music supervisors and all of that into their films from the very beginning, rather than doing the film and then now trying to push music that sometimes is not appropriate for the scene or whatever. But great. I know somebody who has heard the music. Yes, the Keeping Faith soundtrack was fantastic. It was, if I do say so myself. So yeah, but even the soundtrack that for the film I did 2 years ago, The Ghost and the Heart of Truth, I thought that was fantastic as well. Aki and the music supervisor chose very well. They a lot of different African sounds put together in the film. So it wasn't just Nigerian. We had Godwin with Korede Bello, but we also had a couple of other music from other African countries, North Africa, and all of that, and it was brilliant. No, I'm not related to Ebuka, BBN Niger host. He's a friend. Yes,
Uh,
yes. The Audrey Silva Company and Temple Films have good music scores. We do try. Yes, we do. Yeah. So, and for
I
you,
love.
as you're in music, it would be a big deal, to be able to just, yeah, sit on and score a whole production,
Yeah,
it would be
absolutely.
fantastic. I
I
think we need
love
to
that
do more
challenge.
with that from the very, I think there are a few films that have done that from the very beginning, but I think we are moving more into that, realm, trying to do
Awesome.
a lot more from the very beginning. From when you get the script, to be able to have somebody listen, read it, and sort of say, okay, this will sound great, score it from that point of view. Anjola, La Femme Anjola was also good with that. So, it's happening. It's happening.
Oh, I love that very much. I love that
Yes,
very, very much.
yes,
Something dropped in my heart last night, and I was just
yeah.
thinking, are there like special projects that you guys could do? Imagine a collaboration between
Mm,
you and say Tyler Perry or
mm,
Shonda Rhimes. You
mm,
guys come together.
mm,
You craft something that resonates, globally,
mm.
both, at home and out there. Is that because I mean that would be nuts. Yes.
I know. No, definitely. That would be fantastic. And of course, it's all very possible. And more than ever, with the visibility that we're currently enjoying with the streaming platforms, the eyes of Hollywood and some of our big stars. So the eyes of Hollywood are very much on,
Yes.
Nigeria and its stars. So I know that. What did she say now? Tie my legs to their waist. I'm reading some of the
The comment.
some of the comments. So funny. Jay Beautiful, all the way from the US of A, right? Hey, go Boy and Ryan Murphy. I don't know who is Ryan Murphy. Latasha, I'm pulling your leg, Latasha. But anyway, yes, it will be fantastic to do. It will be definitely something worth seeing. Yeah.
Are you genre specific?
No, no, I'm actually open to, you know, many genres. I'm actually open. Yeah.
So we must see a sci-fi in an African context.
Yes, yes. The funny thing is I had the opportunity to read and see a snippet of a film of a young man who is dabbling in horror. He wants to do something in the horror with the horror genre, and it was very interesting. It was very interesting. It wasn't your traditional horror thing, and it was very interesting. Young man, and then I also happened to see another one, sci-fi,
Wow.
also very psychological, which was very, very frightening. Very psychological kind of sci-fi, not the Star Wars or the type, which I watched and enjoyed. There's some sci-fi that does not appeal to me, but I can see the appeal, especially for. Yeah, I know. I'm only kidding. I'm only kidding. I did say I was going to. I was pulling your leg, Latasha. So yes, it is. It's entirely possible. I'm open to those genres. I'm very, very open. Yeah, yeah,
Awesome. Awesome. The term Nollywood,
yeah.
where did it come from? Nollywood.
My goodness, I I actually don't know where that term comes from, but I mean, we know that it's linked to Hollywood, Bollywood, but I hear that it's owned by somebody who is not even in the movie industry. I don't know if that's still the case, but a savvy man who went and registered that name and has sort of captured it. Classic horror, no juju would be good. Yes. Nollywood as a term gets on my tits. That's Latasha. She's gonna kill me. This is so funny. But yes, so I mean, I think that's where it was coming from. And for me, actually, for a long time, I resisted it because I thought, oh God, Nollywood is just so. But I guess we've embraced it. I used to always go out of my way to say, oh, it's the Nigerian film industry. But yeah, I've joined them. Yeah, yeah. I've not that I've joined them, but it's become something, a word that it does it does resonate for people when they talk about it. Just so is one of those words that people have just taken over and made it their own, and it represents our industry now. So
Hmm.
there we have it. Mm.
Okay, someone wants to come into your industry. What
Okay.
would you advise them? What would you advise them to do? What steps would they need to take?
I don't know. It depends on what it is you're coming into the industry to do. I mean, people come in for various reasons. Some people are coming in because they have some expertise and they want to be able to work in certain areas within the industry. Some people want to be stars. So it's really a
Hmm.
case of what it is you're coming in to do. Are you coming in because you have a love for the arts, you have a love for film or television, or you want to be the best costumier, makeup person, or lighting, or do you just want the fame? Nothing
Hmm.
wrong with either of these things, but it's always very important for you to identify quickly what it is you want, so that when you decide that it is what you want, you can focus on it. If you want fame, there are ways of getting it. And if you want to work, I would say put yourself in a position to network effectively. Work with, find other people, young people that are doing the same things that you're doing. Put your ears to the ground, find out what is happening, where you can work. If you get the opportunity to work in a role that is perhaps not what it is you wanted to do, you can start with that. Start with being a dog, general dog, but walk around, work in the different areas. Do a little bit of this, do a little bit of that. Learn everything. Learn about the job, and then you will get the opportunity if you're good. People see you're hardworking, you're diligent, and you want to give your all, and then they see that. Then they now find out that you have the expertise in this area or that. Then they will give you. You will get that chance, but you have to keep trying and don't come in there all, I only want to be this or that. Because sometimes you will get the opportunity to be this, but then sometimes you have to do a lot of other little things before you get the opportunity to be that, to get that big role. So yeah, it all depends on what it is you want to come in and do.
I've always wanted to ask this question.
Yeah.
Who is a method actor?
Well, a method actor, who I would say someone like Daniel Day-Lewis, who gets so into the part that it's almost uncomfortable for other people around him, because he becomes the part. You become so much the part that you cannot separate him from anything else. That is what that is. I just wanted to give more of a visual so that people have a visual of when you say someone is a method actor. Somebody that would tie his leg behind him because he's supposed to portray a role, and spend the whole time not only on set but off set in that same position. you know that is what somebody that is a method is not. And I remember today, it's so funny, Mildred was tweeting about how actors come in. I can't remember exactly what she tweeted, but it was something like, people come in and they do this whole into the part and all of that, but then your audience never really sees you in that part. They still see you
Hmm.
and all of that. I can't remember the exact wording, it's gone out of my head. The tweet that she put it out today. Yes, Marlon Brando is another example of a method actor. But when you become so so Nigerians know to be a
Of
method
course.
actor. When you become such a part of that role that we almost cannot separate you. Like when I see him, he's the best example for me, because when I see him, I don't see Daniel Day Lewis. I see whatever the part is he's playing. He gets so into it. Every single aspect of it, he is that person. So yeah, I think the best way would be to describe it that way, to
Hmm.
give you a clear example of somebody, an actor, if anybody knows stereotype acting in one role. You guys stop making really Don Cheadle. Okay, okay,
Oh, Don
okay,
Cheadle.
okay.
Yeah,
Don
Don Cheadle.
Cheadle. Yeah, yeah. Okay, I see it. I see it. Yeah. Yeah, but
You
for
know,
me anyway, the first person that comes to mind and sort of personifies that whole type is for me. I don't know, Denzel, or is this
Hmm.
Denzel, as I heard it
Denzel.
pronounced? I'm
Hmm.
not sure he is, but he's
Hmm.
brilliant. Whichever one he is, he's brilliant anyway.
Yeah, he is.
Latasha is very. Denzel is not. Okay, people. Okay. Latasha and James is very categorically. Denzel is not. Yes, there's a difference
Ah,
anyway. But for me, it's actually Daniel Day Lewis. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
okay. When you're writing a script, how do you, I don't know how to put this question. If, say, before you write your script or whilst you're writing the script, are you able to tell, say, okay, this might be an hour movie or this might be a movie for 2 hours? Can you, do you sort of write and you know what the duration of the movie will be? Or that's up to maybe you and whoever is going to be editing what you know, when you put your rushes together or your footage together?
No, yeah, you definitely know what sort of length your film is, and there's some software now that can sort of determine based on pages. But I'm not a writer; I don't write, so I mean, I have not written any scripts. So, but I know that you can determine from just how much you've written, how much how long the film or the project can be, the TV series or whatever per episode. You can actually determine from that from your writing, yeah. But of course, when you're shooting, there's certain things that you might decide you want to do more of or less of. Sometimes you're not a slave to the actual script. There's certain things that you will tweak. So it can adjust down. And of course, if you decide that even with all of that, even with exactly a page per minute, even with all of that planning and, you know, you decide that you want to make this film less, you can do that. And that can happen from from the time you make the decision of what kind of film you want to make. You want to make you don't wait till the end when you get to the edit. In my estimation, I believe that what you do is you decide already what sort of length you want to and sort of work towards that. Because if not, we tend to have so much footage. You can shoot
Hmm.
forever and you have, you know, hundreds of hours, hundreds of thousands of hours of, you know, footage. But you need to decide exactly what sort of film, what are we shooting for, what length of time, all of that. So yeah, it depends. It can depend on the script, but I know that there's some tweaking in there somewhere. Mm. I haven't directed any movies yet. I have directed one odd, um,
Odd.
one odd documentary, and done a bit of dabble, but no, not film. I'm a producer. Mm.
Hmm. Cool.
I'm just
Hmm.
answering someone's question. Yeah,
Oh, okay. Someone else
mm.
was asking.
Yeah.
At some point in time, you became the 60th president of the International Women's Society.
Mm.
What was that about? What did you have to do? What were your responsibilities and so on and so forth?
Okay. I was a part of the association at the time for about 18 years, and I was from the very moment I joined, what was very attractive to me was the fact that we were helping um, women and children. No, you don't have to go to school to be able to act. We're helping women and children, you know, helping women set up businesses, small businesses, to be able to educate their children in the event that they needed that sort of support. We're helping widows. We're making sure that we provide education, subsidized education for young children, scholarships for older children, and all of that. So that's what attracted me to it. And I had been at it working in different areas for about 18 years before I became the president. And I became president because I felt that I put myself forward because I felt I had something to give. I wanted to be able to move the association forward in a particular direction. I wanted to be able to attract younger people because the association, at the time I was 60, that's 60 years. It was 60 years of IWS. And I felt that we needed a lot of new blood. So all of that we have been privileged. Thank you, Millie. Thank you. Is that water or wine or vodka? It is water, pure water. I can't demonstrate it to you because it might look like vodka, but it's water. So yeah, so that's why I joined. Sorry, that's what I was aiming for as 60th, and really that's what it was. My my duties were to attract more young people to the society, and I did. We came up with different programs to attract young women to be able to do, carry on the work that our founders had started, and that is ongoing. That's what they're still doing. That's what we're going to do. That's what we'll keep doing. So, yeah, that was IWS.
How do you juggle? How do you juggle motherhood with what you do?
Mm. Well, it hasn't been too difficult because I'm very good at getting help when I need it. I don't believe that I have to do everything myself. So I've always had great support, great help. Yeah. So with the work I do, luckily for us, in the work that we do, we have a lot of downtime. There's some time when we're not working as actively. You can be on set and do or location when you want to be, and so I have been able to, yeah, I've been able to manage that quite effectively, having a very supportive husband as well, and then, as I said, getting the help when I need it, and just supervising. That has been really great. Yeah, so I've been able to. It's not like it's easy. There's sometimes where you're really, juggling, but I have worked it out, and yeah, I've been able to get, with the support of the people I have, I've been able to just get on with it. Yeah.
Would we ever get stuff like violated, checkmate, all the things you've done earlier and reloaded in some form or the other? Maybe we could see them via Netflix, maybe classics, or just beef you up a little bit because we would love to see that. Those are classics, man. Those
I
are
would love
classics.
I would love to see that as well. I would love to see that. And I know that Amaka was working on doing some work with on Checkmate, just to sort of get it up digitally, because at the time we were shooting, you can imagine, early 90s, it was those big clunky tapes, pneumatic tapes, where we're shooting all our material. So all the masters are in those big tapes, or were, I don't know. And so she was working on transferring them to a more digital format so that it would be easy to be able to put them on, these sort of platforms. So I don't know where that got to before we lost her. But I would love to see that. But that's now down to her estate,
Mm,
so we'll see.
mm, mm, mm.
Yeah, yeah. It'll be really nice to. I
Ha.
know Checkmate is on YouTube, but not officially. I don't know who is that person that is benefiting off all these things. I'm always so irritated when I see Checkmate violated, even keeping faith on there. I'm like, who is the person who is benefiting from this? Because it's not the people that have made it, and it's not even in sequence. It's just like little, you get one. But the good thing is that then we've developed a new generation of fans.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Of fans. So it's good that it's there, because then people can, say, oh, okay, I heard about this and I've been able to watch a couple of episodes, so I really want to see the rest. So if it ever gets onto like one of these big platforms, it will be because everybody would have pushed for it. So yeah, yeah, pirates. Yeah,
So
it's not
because
complete on YouTube. Yeah, go on. Sorry.
so because of what you just said, then how do you protect your works?
Hmm.
Copyright, especially
Yeah.
now with streaming, because it's happened to me as well. I started
Okay.
seeing my works in different places. I'm like, what? I didn't put this here. One day
Mm.
I just saw it.
Yeah.
People were streaming Ijoya, streaming Allen Avenue. I had to start doing letters that no, take
Yes.
it down. I didn't
Yes.
put it there officially because
Yeah.
obviously
Yeah.
someone was earning royalties from
Yes.
that.
Yes.
So
Yes.
how do you checkmate those activities? Do you get lawyers? Have you got
Yeah. Yeah.
managers?
Yeah. I mean, that is it. You have to get a lawyer. You have to get your lawyers involved, and if you write to probably a very nicely worded but strong letter to whoever owns that platform, and encourage them to take it down. And hopefully they will. In some cases, there's really nothing you can do because just as you're taking one down, it's bringing up somewhere else. And unless you have the ability to, keep scanning all these different platforms, you will just lose, you know, somewhere. I was on Twitter not too long ago, and I saw some chatter about some platform that I'd never ever heard about. Apparently, a lot of people watch the current films on those platforms, and it's not even. I mean, now I understand why they say that the number of Nigerians on Netflix subscribers is not, we don't have that many subscribers. It feels as if there are a lot of subscribers on Netflix, but apparently not. And that's
Oh,
because people
really?
are going in. Yes, we have, but not
Oh,
as many as we thought. I was so shocked to hear
wow.
that. I saw
Oh,
all of this. All of this I saw on Twitter. And they were now saying it was because of some platform. I can't remember the name of it, but apparently all the films you
wow.
release your film and you think it's in the cinema or it has gone to Netflix or Amazon, and there you are. It's on this thing. And then the shock of my life, as I'm scrolling down reading people saying, look, take this down, take this down, I see somebody now say, oh, we haven't even watched this, we haven't even watched Ghost and House of. I thought, what, you mean this ghost is in this place? I haven't made money from this thing and it's there. And I was like, oh my goodness. And it's not even a joke because it's piracy, and
Yes,
people are losing money over this. You do all this work and you're not making the money, and somebody else is getting all this money. Oh, see, the platform is Shutter. There you have it. It's called
Shutter.
Shutter.
Wow.
Okay, somebody has just typed that in there. That's the name of the platform. So yeah, all the films are released there. So while you're here protecting
What?
your project and writing off your letters to these people, and somebody has already put it out there, they should be sued. Put it out there, and and people are, going in there and watching it. So it's tough, but you just have to keep, trying to shut them down whenever it's brought to your attention. That's the
Yeah,
thing. When it's
yeah,
brought to your attention, a lot of the times people have already benefited so much from the work before it is brought to your attention. So
yes.
we just have to keep on top of these things. Yeah. Yeah.
30 years in the game.
Honestly, I can't even believe it.
How do you still manage to
It's the
stay
truth.
hungry? How do you stay hungry?
I'm still hungry. I am
Yeah, I
still
know.
hungry.
I know.
I just this is what I love. This is, I mean, I don't remember never loving film or never loving just the art of what we do. It's what I've always loved and what I still love. And I just want to keep, putting that work out. There's just so much I haven't even done. There's so much I still want to do. So many films I want to make, so many television programs I want to make, so much. So I just, when you think, okay, I don't want to do this, it's just so difficult, I can do this, I can get the money, blah, blah, blah. And then you see this script, or somebody brings you an idea, or I talk to someone like Mildred, who I'm always bouncing ideas off. We are always talking about different ideas, what we want to do next. And it just makes me, like, when I'm like low, like, oh, I don't want to do this, it's just so difficult, blah blah blah. And then you know that happens, and you just think, okay, I can do this is what you love, this is what you want to do. And I'm constantly thinking in film, like I see or read something and I'm like, oh my god, I can just visualize this in film. So I'm hungry in that way because I still think there's a lot that I haven't done. There's a lot of stuff I still want to do even at my grand old age. And yeah, well, I mean, in the industry, you know what I mean, like there's so
Yeah.
many young people coming up, but I actually want to work with them because they
Mhm.
have such great ideas as well. And the funny thing is, some of the ideas that they have are some of the ideas that I have had And because of the way people look at the industry and think, okay, you can only do things in this way or that way, but they are open to making, films and, the content, creating content in so many different ways. They're just open to experimenting and all of that. So that's what makes me just want to keep doing this. And then when you finally see it out there, the final product, and yeah, it just feels like it's worth it. So that's what keeps me hungry. Just the idea that there's so many stories that haven't been told, so many films that still have to be done that I have in me. So, yes.
As a producer, do you get involved in the editing process?
Yeah. Yeah. I do. And it also depends on the director. Some directors are very good with, saying to you, okay, come in and let's sit down. Because me, now, even as a producer, I'm very respectful of the hierarchy on the set or on location. And that's one of the things that I know that a lot of people in our industry do not recognize and do not seem to adhere to. So even if I'm the one giving you money, even if I'm the one that made this project happen, I still have I still understand and recognize that on this set, the director is Kim. The director is in charge of the creative vision of this project. So I like to give them the, leeway, because once you say you want to work with somebody, obviously you trust them, you trust their vision, and you trust their expertise, so you know that they can deliver. So I'm not going to go and micromanage you to the extent where I'm calling shots or, interfering in your whole creative process. So when that happens, if a director finishes the job, and usually I have a good relationship with the directors I've worked with, I haven't worked with a lot, um, yeah, then they send me material and I look at it and I can tell you exactly what my thoughts are, what I think will work, what I think will not work. In the last few years, last almost 10 years or 10 years exactly, I've worked with just one director, and we've done two films together, A Hotel Called Memory and The Ghost and the House of Truth. And Akin was always sending me stuff. I mean, he would sit in the editor's seat because he wasn't in Nigeria, and he was in South Africa, and we did a lot of editing there. And he would send me stuff and tell me, okay, I would say what I what I wanted, what I thought would work, because also, it's also them recognizing the expertise that I also bring and my experience as well. So we work together, and usually it's that collaboration that works. Being able to say, okay, this is what works, this is what will not work. I think this would be great. And sometimes we're so in concert that we like this scene has got to stay. I remember
Mm.
when we're cutting and trying to make it, we wanted to have the last film, a particular number of hours, and we had cut it to that point, and then Akin sent me a new draft. And I said to him, oh my God, where is that scene? There was this scene in the film. And he said, oh, I was like, no way, it cannot go. You have to put it back. You have to put it back. And so he did. And then he put it in a place where it wasn't originally, but it worked brilliantly. But the fact that, we had agreed that after everything, that scene was the scene that worked. It's just what you do when you are working with somebody that you have total trust, but also have you guys engage very well when you're working on a project. So yeah, that's what happens. I usually do sit in, but not all the time do you have the opportunity to.
Cool.
Yeah.
Mentorship. Are
Mm.
there people that you're mentoring right now? Maybe upcoming actors or upcoming producers or
Yeah, I have a small group of young people that I met through Wale Adenuga. He always
oh,
organizes this group of every year, and I've been in a couple of the sessions, and a small group of the young filmmakers um, and people who wanted to come into entertainment asked for us to be, you know, for me to mentor them. So I do. I have conversations with them. I try and, let them know what is happening, and I'm open to them asking me, any questions. I've had people and groups I've mentored over the years. Oh, okay, here. One says, yes, her mentees are here. Tekla is one of them. So yeah, I've had a couple of people over the years that I have mentored in different groups, different organizations. It's always been different organizations. I did some mentoring with ages ago when earlier on in my career with Faith Foundation, and now Wale, I've done some work with him on his own with his own group. So yes, yeah.
Hmm. What is Ego Boyo's style?
Ooh.
What's the Ego Boyo style? Your look. You're very stylish. So how would you describe your style in terms of your clothing, how you put it together? Your yeah,
I
your
actually thought
thoughts.
I was quite more of like a classic dresser, but someone told me recently that I'm not exactly. There's a bit of I have like an eclectic sort of style, so I'm embracing that. I think sometimes I'm very, I can be very, classic, but sometimes I like to throw in the odd thing to, shake it up a bit. So my shoes, for instance, are never classic. I don't like classic shoes. I would never. So I always like to do something, go out there, something different, something, extraordinary with my shoes and throw in a few pieces that work. So I think I would say that my style can be a bit eclectic, yes, a bit vintage, yes. J Beautiful, definitely. She has it down, yes, that is it. Someone asked me about new projects. Yes, I'm working on a couple of things for 2022. Um, three different projects actually. I know it's ambitious considering that I usually do a project and then take 2 or 3 years before I do another one. But for some reason, I am really thinking that by next year, I want to do three projects that I've actually been thinking about for a while, working on, preparing. Yeah, so I'm working on those. Yeah, yeah,
How do you
Dika.
kick back? How do you kick back?
Oh, I love listening to music. I love reading. I can read three books at the same time. I have like during the day, different moods, different books. So I can read. I love reading. I read extensively. I'm constantly reading. I don't know any time when I'm not reading a book. I'm also into gardening. Gardening.
Ah,
I love gardening. It does relax me more. Recently, I haven't really okay, I did. I put my fingers in the soil yesterday, but I sort of have been more of a supervisor, supervising the guy that works with me in my garden. Very frustrating, but yeah, I am. Yeah, I love gardening. It's something I got from my mother. She was a great gardener. She still does. I want to raid your study. Yes, Dika. My books, I am so obsessed with books. Now I read books on my
wow.
iPad, but I also like to feel like, I like a big hardback. I love hardbacks. So I buy a lot of those books. So, um, yeah, I love gardening as well. Gardening and I love gardening. I love when I'm abroad, I walk. I walk a lot when I'm abroad. I love walking. I can walk for 2 hours straight. I can
Oh,
walk for 3 hours.
amazing.
I love walking.
Yes,
And I
yes, yes.
love walking in green spaces because in green spaces you just see so much. Nature is so beautiful. I love to smell the pages. Honestly, me too, Natasha. I love smell the pages of new books. I love the smell of new books. Sometimes old books. I look for old books as well, but I love new books. The smell of a new book is just so exciting. So I love walking, flowers, plants, gardening, reading, and music. And then of course the art of conversation. I love talking. I love to talk. Yeah. So yeah, those are my things. Yes.
Gender politics. How have you
Okay.
been able to how have you been able to navigate, you know, over time, over the years?
In the industry, I
Yep.
have in the industry I don't know if I would say I've been lucky. I've had moments actually where I have not had a lot of stuff that was maybe negative happen. But I do feel like there was a lot of stuff that could have, a lot of things I could have gotten involved with or been or done if there wasn't that whole thing of, oh, she's a woman and then she's a married woman. So people sort of stare clear of you doing certain business with. It's mainly about business. And I remember at one point, I actually had, because there were deals happening, there was stuff happening in Nollywood early days when we were still having people from all over the world come in. They were very curious about the industry. They were very
Mm.
interested in doing work with us. And in some cases, they met the wrong people. Because when they meet the wrong people and that relationship sours, it affects all of us. But the thing is, not being in those rooms because you're a woman, because I'm not gonna go drinking with the guys and hang out for all hours till late at night in the beer parlor. So it was one of that happened. So what I found was I actually employed somebody. I got a young man who was so talented, he was based in the UK. He came and he was that person for my company to sit in on those deals, to work, chat with the guys, and do all of those things, have those conversations. Because also some spaces were not exactly great for women. People would drink and then, you have men in, just losing control. And
Mm.
I wasn't interested
Wow.
in putting myself in that sort of space. So, yeah, he was doing that for us. But in terms of anything else, apart from the conversations we have had with some people financing, and somebody will say to me, why are you bothering to try and raise money now? Your husband can give you the money. Yeah, so I get that. So that's where the gender thing, the female,
Mm.
or yeah, that affects it. People still say that to this day. It's just incredible to me. But not one, not two men have said that to me while I'm looking for funding for a project. And this is for business. We're trying to work. And that's what I've heard. So yeah, that's where it affected me. Yeah.
Awesome. Somebody called Captain Orene just asked the question,
Okay.
who or what influences your style?
Ooh, I'm not sure. I mean, I think it's comfort and also durability. I like things that are good quality because I know they can last. And the vintage aspect of it, like Jay Beautiful said, is that I like things that I can say I've had this for 30 years and you cannot tell because I will bring it out, wear it, and it will work regardless of what is popular at the time. So those are things that, yeah, that I like when it comes to choosing clothes or anything, accessories or my style. It's about, comfort, durability, and that's a certain something. For I like, very different kind of cuts. Something that the outfit just has to be exciting, even if it's just black. I don't want just a straight black dress. It has to be doing something. It has to be doing something subtle, but something. Yeah. So that is what I'm not sure is anybody. I guess we're all sort of influenced by the elegant women that we have come, before us that have been sort of pushed forward as style icons. So to some extent, you do look at that, but I'm not sure that I would say that they, influenced me. It was really just those things. Yeah.
The future, the future of Nollywood or
Mm.
Nigerian film. Where do you see us going from here?
I see us doing even better. I see us having um a lot more engagement. We're already seeing that a lot of engagement with the international community that is in the same the same space that we're in. So what I see is us having more of those, collaborations, a lot more widespread than they are at the moment, where it's sort of constrained to a couple of people. I see it becoming more of a thing where people are crossing either here, from here to North America, Europe, the Caribbean, and doing work together. I see us opening up in those directions. I see a lot more work happening there. I'm hoping that there will be a lot more focus on actually making films that resonate, films that
Mm.
can make a difference in terms of, sort of teaching us, not teaching us something, it doesn't have to be a moral instruction, but maybe teaching us the kind of society that we should aspire to for Nigeria, the kind of governance that we should aspire to,
Yes.
those sorts of films. I don't necessarily think that it has to be those sort of, if it doesn't teach you a moral thing, it's not whatever. It's entertainment, so people still have to enjoy themselves. But I still think that side by side with us laughing our heads off, we need to have, a lot more serious dialogue. We've just come
Yes.
out of
Yes.
yesterday with the memorial that we just had
Yep.
marked, sad
Yep.
memorial just marked.
Yep.
And it would be good for us to recognize that, yeah, laughter is everything. But yes, as Jay Beautiful, there has to be film that influences the culture and shifts it in a way and in a direction that it needs to go, So, yeah, that's what I'm hoping that we will see more of.
Yes.
And I hope that's where Nollywood is going. Yeah.
The last question, still
Okay.
Captain Orene. He said he's asking, "What's your favorite flower?"
Ooh, orchids. Oh, that's so easy. If you are on my page, you know that my favorites are orchids. I'm obsessed with orchids. Orchids are are part of my process. And I'm quoting Houston here. Orchids are a part of my process. So, Captain, orchids it is. Oh, Mildred, I knew you were going to say that. Will you run for office? I have been thinking, I've been thinking about it. I have
Really?
been.
Ah,
Yes,
awesome.
I have been. I have
Awesome.
actually been keeping away from the fray politics because it's so frustrating in Nigeria. But it's very fascinating, and I've always felt that yes, I can contribute in some way. So that might be where I'm going next. You never know.
Mm,
Not next.
mm.
Where I'm going next is I'm going to be making those 3 films that I've said I'm going to make next year by God's grace, touch wood and all. But Jay Beautiful, Nami be happy. Yes, yeah, but I see that I could get into it. I could get into it. I want to give back. There's just so much that we can do about our society.
Yes.
There's just so much. There's so many needs that are so
Yeah.
obvious, and to me, they seem obvious and easy to sort out. But I really, I really think they can be. But I don't know why nothing is happening. I have my PVC. Yes, so Tekla, we do, but not
Oh,
immediately. So in the future, maybe.
in the
So
future,
we'll see.
please, in the
Yes,
nearest future,
in the
because
nearest future, we'll see.
I'm clamoring for change. A lot of things are happening, you know, as
Yes.
I know people, everybody's talking about COVID. For me, the pandemic that really, really needs to go away,
Mm.
rape, rape.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
getting so crazy that
it is.
it breaks
It's
my heart.
it
It
breaks
breaks
my
my
heart
heart.
every time. I follow Mirabelle Warif, DVSRT, Chichiara, and when I read the stories, I'm constantly, you're in tears. They're heartbreaking. I saw one today, 11-year-old girl raped by her father. And I'm
11.
just like, it's clearly we're not, the information about the sorts of time that these people are being given when they're
Mm,
prosecuted is
mm.
not getting enough press, or is not getting out there, because surely that should deter them. I'm not even asking them because I know that they're horrible human beings. From the moment you decide that that is what you're going to do, you're a horrific human being. But I'm just thinking, at least when they see that, look, oh, It's a new day. You cannot, if you do anything and they catch you, you will be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. You would think that that would deter them. It doesn't seem to be. You're still hearing these horrific stories every day. So it is one of those things, and I just commend all the people leading these organizations because they're doing such a phenomenal job, often with not much coming back in, because they depend on, donations and grants from people like us and organizations, international organizations. I'm not even sure that any organizations in Nigeria, are set up to donate money apart from like corporate organizations saying, okay, I'm going to donate money to you. But is there a grant that is set up that is there just to support people like this? I'm not sure there is. So they are doing the most that they can with the little that they have already and doing such a phenomenal job. But it's almost like hitting your head against a stone because just as you're making these advances, you're still hearing these horrific, horrific stories every day, So it's you are right, it's such a huge epidemic. And I think last year the pandemic made it even worse because people couldn't escape their abusers. Their
Yeah,
abusers, they were
yeah,
in the house constantly with their abusers.
yes,
So yeah, it's one of
yes,
those things that we really are we need to do a lot more work to ensure that that pandemic is defeated. Yes.
yes. And another thing that I noticed now is
Yeah.
that a lot of kids, a lot of young kids, people,
Yeah.
the now you hear people are suicidal. The
Yeah.
smallest. I'm like, what? They're drinking sniper and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I can't believe it. What's going on?
Yeah.
I didn't think there would be a day like this,
I
in
think
our
I
culture,
think
in our country. I'm really, really surprised. What do
yeah,
you think
I
we could
mean,
do, especially as creators? What could be done,
no,
to
definitely
change
we
the
need
change
to
the
do,
shift the paradigm?
yeah, we need to do a lot in terms of just even educating people about what help there is out there. I follow a very good group, Mentally Aware, and there's another one, Chizovan. They're so good at putting the word out there, encouraging young people who are experiencing any of these sorts of doubts, any of these feelings, that there's help. So I think we just need to do a lot more about putting the word out there. I think that if you have a film and you have a character that has a challenge, rather than just talking about it in this, just this sort of, in this manner that we've seen often, is to actually name organizations where people can get help. Make it very, it's almost make it, real for people where you're actually naming organizations that exist where they
Yes,
can ask for help. Don't
yes,
just say, oh, she can go there and then come up with a fictional, psychologist or somebody like that. Actually work with the ones that already exist and see how we can put the names out there so that it's like when you think about mental health or you think about whatever, immediately a name comes to your mind and is in the mind of everybody across the board that we all sort of know. It's because a lot of people don't have any recourse to any support or help that these things then escalate. If there's one, but some people might be helped, some people might be saved if they're aware of the support. Whenever there are issues like that or issues about violence against women, you find that people are calling and asking, do you know this place? Do you know where we can get help? That should not be the case. Everyone should know where we can get help, who these organizations are. So we need
yeah,
to, on our own side, we need to do more to help to get that word out by making not by making films only for that. I mean, like if you make a film and there's a person in your film that has a mental health issue, it's your responsibility to make sure that it's handled properly,
yes,
sensitively in the film, and to put out there the ways that people can get support. If it's about violence against women, same thing. Contact these organizations. You see a lot of foreign films. If we're going to be dealing, you'll see a disclaimer right in front. we're going to be dealing with the issues of suicides and all of that, just to tell people. So this is what we need to do as well. Rather than just making the film and having people do all this, which is a trigger for other people, is for us to put those disclaimers as well, and then name organizations where real help can be rendered. So, yeah, I think that's all we need to do. We have a huge responsibility there. And I hope that we're able to, do what we can.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking we should have maybe a sex offenders register as well.
Yes.
Let people know who is who.
I believe that Lagos State is working on it. I've heard something like that. I've heard that I don't know where they are at the moment. But I think that is something that they should do. You're right. That's a series of mental health. I remember in the 90s with Mind Bending. Remember?
Oh.
They dealt with there were issues of addiction and all of that. Those shows, it was entertaining, but it was also very informative, and it gave you real info. Just real help in terms of where to go if there are issues. So I think that's the responsibility that we have, especially now that we know that these places exist. It's really a case of making sure that the audience realizes the same, and if we can help to get the word out through film, which is such a powerful medium, or through television series or things like that, then we definitely should. We should incorporate it in our films. Yeah.
All right. Ego Boyo, thank you very, very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me.
You rock.
That show on Netflix.
You rock.
You rock. You rock. Actually,
you rock
asking so many questions, but I'm going to get an opportunity to ask you.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I've loved you. I've loved you forever. I'm telling you.
Thank you.
I went to go and I hijacked Mildred, because Mildred is, my goodness. She's always flogging people on Twitter. And that's how I fell in love with her.
Fountain of information. And Latasha wants to ask a very controversial question. Latasha, please go ahead. I hope it's a question
Latasha, please go ahead. Do you want me to add you, Latasha? Should I add you? Let me bring you on. Where is she?
I saw her earlier, but she's...
Yeah, oh yeah, she's here. No, she's here.
Okay.
Yes. I'm bringing her on.
Okay.
Ooh, Dabana says he's crushing on you.
Oh my God, it's so dark. It's so dark where I am.
It's really dark.
Beautiful.
It's dark.
Yes, it's dark. It's okay.
This one you must ask a controversial question. We're already.
I want to ask, as women in entertainment, what is your take on the Tiwa Savage sex tape?
Oh,
I don't have a take.
I don't have a take.
Okay.
No. Okay. Latasha, I said when she said I was asked a very controversial question. I said, ooh.
No, but seriously, because as women in entertainment, I want to. There are so many ways to, and I know this is not about film, but it's all very related now because there's so many things that are happening within the industry. And I feel like there aren't just enough punitive measures taken on certain actions. If this were to have happened to an actress, for example, most people would just be like, actresses already have this, there's this impression that people have about Nollywood actresses in quotes. Oh, they are this or they are that and whatnot. So if this were to have been an actress, it would have only probably fueled that narrative. And so as women though, how do we actually navigate situations like this? Where is one supposed to stand? Do we keep quiet? Do we judge? Do we not? Do we say, oh, everything is okay, you're a queen, there's nothing wrong? Like, it's very difficult for me as someone in media and in entertainment to just be quiet and just watch like nothing happened. That's my thing.
No.
And I'm just having a difficult time not talking about it because I'm someone that loves to talk about stuff and talk through things. So this is not actually about shade, but it's a real valid question. And I just hope that as people older, you would have some kind of insight to be able to add to the conversation.
No, I mean, unfortunately, I have no insight into this conversation, into this particular one. But I agree with you that sometimes
someone said they wanted to see
certain
my face.
issues.
I'm not that ugly.
Okay, yes. Sometimes there's certain issues that do come up and you want to say. But I mean, it's up to the individual to want to comment. I don't feel that that is everything I want to comment on. Sometimes I have thoughts about it, but I just either keep them to myself because everybody has got to do what they have got to do, or I don't know. Sometimes I comment on it privately, and sometimes I don't comment at all. So sometimes I just don't see myself commenting on certain things that happen in entertainment because I just try and avoid. It has to be something that if it was to do with a child, like the case that happened before, then definitely I would definitely comment. But when it's adult business, everybody's an adult, so I leave it to them to deal with.
Great wisdom as always, Antigo. Love you.
Thank you.
Love you. Thank you.
Okay.
And of course, all your insights. I was seeing all your comments, so I read everything. Yeah.
We shan't be. So, no. Sis, thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming on.
Having me. Thank you for having me.
Twali. Thank you to everyone who came on. Dabina, Cynthia, Natasha Lagos, Rita Dominic, Mildred. So many people.
My sister came on from the UK.
Oh, really?
My sister came in, Amaka. She came in from the UK. My J Beautiful from America. My cousin-in-law, Hawa, from Canada. And I saw somebody else that I think... Oh, the African Film Festival guys. Hi.
Oh, really?
I think from Atlanta. Yeah, so it was lovely. I saw... Awesome. Yes, there she is. There's my sister. I saw Dika.
Hi, sis.
I saw who else did I see? I saw Molara. Yes, nice. Molara Wood. She's I just saw her interview with
Molara Wood.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh,
she's
awesome.
Good. Yes, Jay Beautiful. Love you. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Salute. Gatekeeper. Yes.
Thank you, people. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.